Our movie One Click comes out November 16th.
Yeah.
Sara Beko, producer extraordinaire. James Deveney, writer-director here.
He's okay.
I'm all right. And so we're so excited to release the film.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be fun to start chatting about it online and breaking down how we pulled it off, the things we did. And I want to ask just a general question of you, Sarah. Just
okay.
You know, me and you went into pre-production on One Click in March, April last year, 2024.
Yep, we did.
And spent months and months planning it.
Mm-hmm.
Our 3.5-day shoot, 3-day shoot.
4-day shoot.
4-day shoot.
4-day shoot.
And then finished the film when we finally shot in October.
Yeah.
Finished the film January 2025.
After a postponement. Yeah.
And, you know, we got into LA Shorts Film Festival, which is pretty prestigious, and we're so happy about it.
Yeah.
What's your overall feelings about the project? You know, for the last year, you and I devoted so much time to creating this. This is our first venture together, filmmaking.
Yeah, well, and kind of like I've done a little bit of producing stuff here and there, but nothing like on my own, like as my own project. So this was like my first like baby, I guess you could say.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, like both of our first babies. Which was really great. And, you know, it was kind of, I mean, I just love the filmmaking process in general, just being a part of it in any way. But it was so much more of a roller coaster being in charge of it, just because, like, there's so much more invested. I had so much more invested into it. And, like, sometimes it felt like we were, like, on the fucking moon, like, we were killing it, like, rock stars, like all this stuff, and then sometimes it felt like we were just at the bottom of the pit, like, oh my god, this is absolute shit, like this is not gonna work, like what are we doing, do we even have the ability to do this? But it all came together.
I feel like what I learned from filmmaking, obviously we met on a Viking movie in England, and I assistant directed that. You were doing stunts and acting and all kinds of stuff. You were basically like the MVP, 6 roles in one.
Pretty much, yeah.
And what I learned from that, and then from writing, directing, and producing this movie with you, is filmmaking is literally problem solving every day,
it is,
especially on set.
Yep.
Every day is just like managing problems, and even something as simple as like the camera angle. How we solve this problem of the sun coming from the direction that we don't want it to come in.
Yeah.
Little things like that. But that's all filmmaking is you have a plan, and then you're managing problems. But I think we set ourselves up with a huge problem to start with One Click, where I wrote this script in 2023. It didn't have a car explosion. And then you told me about a car that you wanted to do or explode or blow up for a stunt reel or a movie or whatever.
Yeah, so this was my old car. Like, this was my daily commuter car. And it, like, broke down. It shit the bed. Like, it was not a good car anymore. And so I was like, this was before I met him. So I was like, I could either sell this car for parts for, like, I don't know, $1,000 maybe I'd get out of it. Like, it was not going to be a lot. Or I could just hang on to it and blow it up. So I was just determined to hang on to it and to find some way to blow it up. And then, lo and behold, met this guy. He had a script that after he showed it to me and I read through it, I was like, we could easily work a car explosion into this. So then I pitched it to him, and he wrote in the scene, and we got to blow it up, which was so much better than selling it for parts.
Blowing up a car, though, is a shit show. If you don't have that big of a budget, you know, we started with like a $20,000 budget, which obviously got boomed up,
inflated.
Pun intended.
Yep.
But logistically, we've never blown up a car before. It's like, how do we do this? We got real lucky through some of your connections in the industry from working on previous sets, where we got connected to an incredible pyro, Ilya Popov, who does so many big movies in Hollywood, like The Fall Guy.
Huge movies,
Lots of live shows, he does TV, he does all kinds of stuff, not just explosions, but fabricating cars and vehicles, all kinds of things.
They're awesome.
Gem
Love
Effects,
those
shout
guys.
out. But, you know, we were presented with this problem, like, all right, we have $20,000 to make a movie, and then also, how do we do a car explosion?
Yeah.
And so that was a huge dilemma, but also, even before we did the explosion and before shooting, your car was parked somewhere, just like near your apartment.
No, this was so annoying. So I had my car parked near the apartment that I was living in at the time. And it was on a street that it didn't have any parking restrictions or anything like that. Like, this is a street where there'd been RVs parked for a long time. Like, there was a guy's camper that was parked there
Still
for
there,
years.
probably.
It probably is still there. But for some reason, somebody called the city and complained about my car being parked there for a long time, even though there was a whole freaking RV parked there. And it ended up getting towed.
A week before production.
A week before production. And we went by the apartment to go, like, what were we doing? We weren't even checking up on the car.
I think we were just picking up some stuff.
Yeah,
like
I think
gear
we
or
were just
something.
picking up some stuff. And, like, we drove down the road, and all of a sudden I was like, James, wait, turn around, go back. And, like, we turned around, and I was like, oh, my God, the car's not there. So then we had to...
I've never had a car towed, so I didn't know the process of tracking down a car.
Yeah, well, so you ended up calling around, and you found the...
Where it got towed.
Yeah, you found the impound that it was at, and so we had to go and pick it up and pay for it. Oh, my gosh.
I've never been to an impound either, and so our car that we're supposed to blow up in a week gets towed, impounded in Los Angeles at some random giant impound garage, which is one of the sketchiest places I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
And, like, we walk into this big impound facility in the middle of, like, North Van Nuys, bulletproof glass everywhere.
Yep.
And then you can see inside this high, secure door through it, a giant garage full of cars, stacked.
All the cars in the garage were, like, all the really nice high-end cars.
Yeah.
Like, they had the Lambos in there, the G-Wagons were in there, like, all the really nice ones. So I get why they had the bulletproof glass.
Yeah, it still made you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then
Dude.
it cost what, it cost $1,000 to get it out or something?
No, it wasn't quite that much. Just like $800, but it might as well have been, you know?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And it would have been cheaper to just let them keep it and get a new shitbox car, no offense.
No, totally would. But that car
yeah.
had sentimental value because my grandfather, who's no longer with us, went with me to buy that car. That was like my first car purchase that I made on my own, and my grandfather went with me. So R.I.P. to him. It was very sentimental for me to get that car and do it in the movie and, like, just, you know, pay a little homage to him. And, like, when I showed my grandmother the footage, she, like, that was really, really special for her to see.
Yeah.
So she was like, oh, your grandfather would have loved this. So,
No, that was one of my favorite
yeah.
things about the whole movie, though, is writing just creating I think what I've learned from filmmaking is you can really capture really great things if you challenge yourself. And we gave ourselves a challenge out of the gate.
Yeah,
of
for
blowing
sure.
up a car,
Yep.
this high production stunt where we didn't have really experience. You have experience with, obviously, fire and fire burns and safety training for things like
and
that.
I've been on many sets where we've done pyro and we've done explosions and stuff like that, never having been in charge of it, but I've seen it happen before, so I knew the protocol. I knew how it was going to go down, but it's a lot different being in charge of it.
What were your feelings so our last day of shooting was the explosion day, and we got the offer to pop the car up in the air, but we had to do dialogue interior
Yeah.
of the car, so the pyro didn't have time to set the cannon up to blast it up in
Right.
the air, but we still had an outstanding explosion that Ilya
Oh my
provided
God,
at
yeah,
Gym
so
Effects. We got
good.
so lucky. It was the last day of shooting. We're all exhausted, but this was kind of the easiest day of the production.
It was, yeah, it
But
was.
like,
Yep.
what was your feeling of, you know, the morning of the explosion, and then leading into running set that day? We're finally out of the desert. We have a warehouse to actually set up our base camp in, and it's a lot more chill of a day, but still
Yeah.
hyper focus.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was definitely our most chill day of filming for sure. Everybody was very happy to be out of the dust and out of the hot sun.
Oh man, day 3 was rough.
Yeah. And it was chill. And like, I knew we were in really good hands with Ilya and his team. So I wasn't personally worried about the explosion. I was more stressed about calling it because I was in charge of calling action and calling the cut and all
the
that
BTS
for
footage
the
is just you
explosion.
screaming. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, I did. So like, and that, you know, like I said, that was my first time like running an explosion like that. So I was like trying to gauge myself of when to call it off of Ilya, and he and I were looking at each other, and he like called out for me to call it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's my point. I'm calling it. So doing that, like setting that up was definitely stressful.
Were you
But-
watching on monitor or were you watching the
No,
explosion?
I was watching live.
Because that
I was watching Elia.
That was the downside of being the director that day, is I couldn't see the I was watching
Yeah.
on monitor,
Which-
which I
yeah,
have
you
to.
have to do.
I have to watch
You have to
monitor.
watch
I
monitor.
can't be like, I want to see how pretty this looks to the naked eye.
Yeah.
I had to watch the monitor. I could feel the heat when it exploded for like
Yeah.
3 seconds. You felt, even though we were 100 feet away, you felt a wave of heat spread because it was a big explosion. But I didn't get to see it with my naked eye, which is what it is. It's part of the job.
Yeah, that's part of your job.
But I
yep.
have to make sure we get the shot,
Yeah.
So, but that was my one regret, is not being able to see the explosion with the naked eye.
Actually, another thing, I think the most stressful part for me was making sure that all of our cameras, because we had 4 cameras rolling
Yeah.
during that explosion.
Plus BTS, yeah.
Plus BTS, was making sure everybody was rolling, everybody was lined up, everybody knew what they were doing, because some of the cameras were static, but some of them were doing pans.
Yeah.
So just making sure that everybody was...
Off. No phones. Phones away.
Oh, yeah. And phones away, too, making sure, like, nobody was going to spill any BTS or, like, leak anything like that. But yeah, just like making sure everybody was on the same page, and like, because we only got one take. You only get one take of a car exploding
For
when
our
you only
budget.
have one car. Yeah, exactly. You got one car, you get one explosion. You got to buy another car to have another one. So that was probably the most stressful. Just
Yeah.
making sure everything was going to happen how it needed to happen.
For me, I was I had a lot of fun on day 4 because days 1, 2, and 3 were just so nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
Action-packed,
Yep.
crazy shooting schedule that everyone was game for, but it was a lot of work and a lot of running around
Yeah.
in the middle of the desert. But then, we're in a more comfortable location, and I've learned from sets in the past that we've been on together where sometimes when you change to a more comfortable location, people get a little relaxed
Yep.
on set, and the crew,
This is
they take it
true.
a little easy. There's a little more time to goof around and chat and
Yep,
like
that's
have
true.
fun, which I liked. I have fun on set when there's time, but I think it was important for me, and I had the conversation with the team the night before, make sure everyone's on their A game, because even though this is the last day of shooting, we're in a more comfortable location, we need everyone to be on their freaking A game. It's the opening of the movie, it's the explosion shot, and just because it's a little more relaxed of a situation doesn't mean the focus can't be it has to be
Yeah.
taken away. We have to stay on the ball 100%. So I wanted to make sure that I was projecting laser focus, so that
Laser focus.
laser
That's,
focus.
that's what he said all the time.
Tom Brady, baby. Laser focus. But I feel like what I've learned from being in a leadership position is whatever you project, people will kind of give off and feed off of.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't
Yep.
want to be like a tyrant on set, but I want there to be a definite hierarchy of structure of power of,
Yeah.
these are the people who are in charge. You can have fun, you can goof off, you can be friends, but still, at the end of the day, everyone has a job to do and a task to do. In
Yeah.
order to manage and lead, you have to set an example of staying focused. Whenever shit's going wrong, you gotta take a step back. You gotta take your time to address it yourself internally, then with your tight crew, the need-to-know people, before you see people have meltdowns on set or people get worried on sets because something is going wrong. Problems cannot be averted; they can only be solved.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of leadership is, maintaining your cool under pressure.
Yep.
When problems go horribly, horribly wrong, which happened on the movie.
Yep.
You gotta, if you have to depend on the next person next to you, like we had a bad situation where a car got broken into, and you're the one who had to break the news to me that people were going to be late for our 5 a.m. call time, which would have put us back for 2 or 3 hours of filming.
And that was our sunrise shot,
Sunrise
too.
shot.
Yep.
You still presented it to me in a calm way, but also did it to just me by myself to the side.
Yeah. Yep. This is one of those things, like, I'm so grateful that I went through ROTC for, because it taught me so much about leadership and how to be an effective leader. And yeah, you do have to find that balance between, like, not being a tyrant, but you need to be able to put your fists down and, like, bring the hammer down when you need to, but you also need to be personable and, like, be somebody that people can rely on, and be somebody that people want to talk to and want to be around and stuff. But it is a balance. You do have to figure out what that balance is, because, like, you can't just be everybody's best friend. You do have to be able to, like, come down on people when you need to, and Like sometimes that means that they're not going to be your friend, but you need to do what you need to do to get through your day, especially on a film set. Like a film set, I think, is so much like the military. I draw so many parallels between it. And like, yeah, everybody's got a specific job. Everybody has somebody that they're either in charge of or somebody who is in charge of them. And it's all about chain of command and like making, information getting through like the chain of command and stuff like that. There's just so many parallels between the military.
Chain of command is so important. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about power structures in a system like a film set. It's the only way to operate smoothly.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
feel like if you're on a film set and there are people who don't understand that they have to have strong leadership or maintain leadership, and they're having too much fun, your set's not going to be a successful
Yeah,
set.
totally. Yeah. Yep.
Like, it's fun. Making movies is the best thing in the world. It's a blast, but you got to get the work done.
Yeah,
You got to
yep.
nail it
We're
if you
all
want to
there
make
for
the
a
best movie
job.
possible. I love how when we made One Click in pre-production, I was very adamant, no visual effects, only special effects,
Yes,
no post-production
all
visual
practical.
effects at all.
Yeah.
Which I respect. There are incredible visual effects artists out there. ILM do amazing wizardry work, Weta. But we took a Spielberg, early Spielberg Nolan approach of no
Yeah.
CGI in this movie at all.
Which I love.
And that was another challenge for us as well. It's easy to do a car explosion with CGI and just hire someone to create it for you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can do it any style you want, but it's harder to do it in person. Just like we have gunshots in the movie.
Yep.
And I was adamant about not doing CGI squibs. You can easily download programs online that have built-in squib hits, ground hits, blood hits. They look fine. They
Yeah.
look pretty good. You can get them 6K. It looks solid on your film. But it's not the same for me, and I always can tell. And I think especially with short films, it's where it's easiest and more economically feasible to bite the bullet with CGI because it's so much easier to do. You don't have a big budget to do squibs. You can't hire a pyro for the day to do that.
Yeah.
But I was adamant special effects only, and you were with me 100% on that, which I
Yeah.
appreciate. But then it came to the point where, how do we do squib hits? And it's like, we had no money to begin with, and now do we hire a pyro guy, or do we figure out how to build our own squibs? And we built all of our own squibs
Yep.
in-house. A lot of trips to Home Depot.
Home Depot.
A lot of Amazon returns until we figured out a system, which I will not reveal because it's
Yeah, no,
my special system.
Yeah, what we came up with is really good. So don't.
But what we
Don't be
did
giving that
come up
out.
with was a system that the performers themselves, whether it's a blood hit coming out of their chest or their arm after they're getting shot, are the ones actually performing the special effect themselves.
Yeah.
We rigged them up with the special effect. Obviously, there's tubing, so we can reveal tubings under their clothing.
Yeah,
But I won't.
that's
I won't
pretty
reveal the
standard for
mechanism.
anything.
That's it's a need to know basis. Can't reveal the secrets.
Yeah.
But they're the ones operating the mechanism, which is
Yeah.
not very common on a film set.
Yeah, no. But I mean, what was nice, all of our actors are stunt performers or have a stunt background. So that's one thing that I was super adamant about. I was like, if we're going to shoot this in 4 days with the intense shooting schedule that we're going to do, with the amount of action that we're going to do, we need to get stunt actors for this. It needs to be stunt people because, I mean, being a stunt person myself, and coming from that world, like, stunt people just get shit done.
Yeah.
We don't complain. We show up, tell us what you need us to do. Great. Okay, let's get it done. We'll get it done, and we move on. Like, and I'm not saying that actors can't do that too, but it's just from who I was able to draw from, it just made so much sense for this movie.
Especially, it's an action movie at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yep.
Action thriller. People are running around the middle of nowhere, but it's smart because, we're asking people to huff and puff it in the desert.
Yeah, and it wasn't just our actors who were stunt people. Most of our crew was all stunt people too, who were willing to help PA for the day, or who were willing to help. Like, we had a stunt guy help us with the special effects. He was our special effects guy for the dust squibs and stuff. So yeah, it was just because we were out in the desert getting dusty and dirty all day.
It was hot.
In the hot sun.
We were supposed to shoot in
like,
July. Heat wave came. We had to postpone to October.
That was one day that I had to break the news to you.
That's a terrible day.
That was.
We were supposed to shoot day one, July 5th, I think, right?
Yep.
And then what's it, July 1st or June 28th, 29th? It's a week
Or
before.
no, we were going to shoot July 8th, and
Oh, yeah,
then
you're
I
right.
came to you July 2nd.
And there was a projected heat wave coming. We were shooting in Palmdale, about an hour north of LA,
Yeah.
but the heat wave was going to be 115 every day.
Yeah.
And Sarah's like, being nice, but really saying, asshole, we can't shoot. And I'm like, well, but like water and ice.
Yeah. Well, what if we just, I'm like, we do not have the money. Here's the thing, like, if you are a big budget production, you can totally shoot in weather like that, because you can give your cast and crew a lot of shade, you can have fans going all the time, you can bring out trailers that have AC, which we did have an AC operated bathroom, which was awesome. That bathroom was great. But like, if you have the money, you can set up cooling tents. You can set up what people need to be able to stay cool and function properly in that kind of heat. But we did not have that kind of budget. And with the tight shooting schedule that we had, and how many shots we had to get through in a day, there wouldn't have been really much opportunity for people to take the break that they would have needed to in that kind of heat. So waiting for it to be cooler so that we could just keep pushing through our day and get through what we needed to do. Yeah, it was just a no-brainer for me.
We wouldn't have been able to shoot the movie.
Absolutely not. No.
It would have been postponed, or we had to do reshoots. Something would have happened. We would not have been able to meet the schedule because,
Yeah, no.
I mean, at the end of the day,
No.
I think every movie that ever existed or exists or is in production, you have a schedule. How often are you ever on schedule?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Never?
so funny. Yeah, most of the big studio projects that I work on, you're never actually
Something
on
happens.
schedule. Very rarely, very rarely. I feel like we were a rare case in that instance, because we were like, most of the time we were ahead of schedule, if not like on schedule for our shoot, which was awesome.
Well, I think what we were good at was pivoting and adapting.
Yeah,
Day
for
one,
sure.
we were supposed to, I think it was, first shot was supposed to be like 10 a.m. or 9 a.m.,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And we went to the location several times the months before filming.
Yeah, so much
And I was
planning.
like, okay, this is where we're going to shoot. We're going to shoot our characters walking through the different parts of the landscape. We picked out a spot over there. We picked out a spot over there. Picked out a spot over there. However, something happened. We were an hour behind schedule. And so I was like, fuck it. Let's just shoot right there, right there, right there. Spin the camera. No one's going to know it's the same 100-foot radius.
Yep.
So stuff like that where you have to quickly make a decision of, all right, we don't have time to shoot here, put everyone in a car, drive over to the other location that
Yeah.
looks amazing, which we scoped out and checked out 3 weeks before
Yep.
on our scouts. Now it's like a hard decision where at the end of the day, it doesn't even really make that big of a difference, especially if it's a small budget film. And also, 2 of those shots got cut anyways.
Yeah, yeah. Which, yeah, you and our DP, Danger Charles, yes, that's his actual name. His name is
Amazing.
Danger. You guys worked really well together with that when you guys had to pivot. Like, he has such a good eye for stuff, and so he was really good at helping keep your vision in line with what you wanted, but also making sure that it made sense for like lighting and continuity. And he was really on top of continuity stuff. He was great.
Not just with visuals, but also just story stuff as well.
Yeah.
Danger was really on top of everything, and he's such a great guy to collaborate with.
Yeah.
And I think with him, I think me and him work so well because, you know, I don't ever want to be the kind of filmmaker. Well, when we're operating in small budgets like this, and I understand we don't have time to do reshoots, and we have to get stuff done.
Yeah.
We have to make our day, because we did no nighttime shooting. We went, if the sun's up, that's what we're shooting. That's
Yeah.
basically
Yep.
that was the MO of the shoot. So we have to use what we can with sunlight. And I wrote that specifically so we wouldn't have any night shoots, so that everyone can get a good night's sleep and break down at nighttime.
Yeah.
And the days were not that long in October. In the
Yep.
summertime, they were getting a little shorter. So by the time it's like 6, you can't shoot anymore.
Yeah.
And so we basically had from, I want to say, 8 to 6 to shoot every day with full sunlight.
Yeah.
But you have to make hard decisions quick. And I went into this production knowing that if we have to make a pivot that's going to change my original vision, then we have to do it. And I didn't want to handcuff the whole production to something that I really want this, I need this, when I can't afford to do that for everyone else or with the budget at all.
Yeah.
And so I think I recognize that. The rest of the crew, especially the top of the production, everyone, me, you, and Danger, really understood that, hey,
Yeah.
if we can't get it, we can't get it. But we did get lucky with a lot of things, but we did have some bad luck where we were trying to do a sunset shot.
Sunrise for sunset.
Yeah, so we're going to shoot it in sunrise and 5 a.m., and we're going to shoot it, our finale like that.
Yeah.
Day 2 or 3. But the morning of, our call time was going to be 5, our 2 lead actors' car got broken into at the hotel. I won't name the
Well,
hotel.
almost broken into.
Almost broken
Yeah.
into. Fortunately, they're both black belts, and
Yeah.
they're the wrong people you want to mess with.
Yes.
So, but it delayed them about 2 hours to get to the shoot, which screwed the whole shooting sunrise for sunset. We managed to get a little bit of it.
Yeah.
So our finale sequence is a sunrise, but it's not quite the color of the beautiful sunrise that happened that morning of the blues and the oranges.
It wasn't what you wanted.
Yeah, it wasn't what we planned for months. That's something we planned for months. We planned, all right, we'll shoot sunrise for sunset. We planned that 3 months before the shoot. And then the day of, car gets broken into almost, delays everyone by 3 hours. You can't do it, so you have to pivot and kind of figure out how to do it on the fly a different way. So that's a problem that happens in filmmaking every time you're on set.
Yep.
You plan something months ahead of time, but guess what? Out the fucking window, figure out another way to do it.
Yep.
Problem solving, that's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. I want to talk about the shooting schedule because we keep mentioning how insane it was. So just to give you guys context, our sound guy, why am I blanking on his title right now? Sound mixer. He does a lot of like really big studio shoots, like for Paramount, for Disney, for
Lamps.
like all these. No, not Lamps. Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Gotcha.
But he works on all these big shoots, like so he's used to big budget film schedules and all this stuff. And he looked at our film. He also does a lot of indie stuff too. He also is he has his own production company as well.
Chris Polchinski.
Yeah. Yep. He looked at our shooting schedule. He came up to me after the shoot and told me all this. And he was like, you know, Sarah, I was looking at your guys' shooting schedule and I was thinking there's no way these guys are going to get all of their shots and they're not going to be able to pull this off. But we did. And he was very impressed that we were able to.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And, you know, that's a lot has to do with how much planning went into it on our end, but also our fabulous first AD, Elsa Ames. She was on top of it, keeping us in line, keeping you on schedule, making sure we got everything we needed to get, keeping the crew running efficiently. She's super ahead of the game. She would make sure that while we were shooting this one shot, our next shot that we were going to do was being set up and getting ready to go, like with the grip team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then for you, too, to your kudos, like you were really good at knowing exactly what you wanted, how to get it, and you knew once you got the shot, we were done. We were moving on. You knew you were shooting for the edit, which is so smart in such a time-constrained production. Shoot for the edit. Once you know that you have the shot that you're going to use, move on. Like, don't waste your time doing safety takes. Don't be like, well, what if we did this? Like, you just moved on and we got all the stuff that we needed to get, which is great, especially in that setting.
I was storyboarding for months on the movie. I started the storyboards like back in April and May 2024.
Yep.
I drew pretty much every frame out, if not drawing every frame, getting reference points for every frame of every single shot that we did.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, one of the reasons why we stayed on schedule, like you said, was knowing exactly what I wanted and what we talked about. We talked about every single shot. Every single shot.
And everybody who needed to know knew exactly what we were doing. Elsa was 100% on board with every shot that was happening. She knew exactly what we were going to do. Danger knew exactly what was going to happen. The grip team knew exactly what was going on. Like, everybody had the information that they needed.
I think assistant directors are really kind of the unsung heroes of film.
Yeah.
And there's an assistant director. I think his name is Chris Summers, or he just passed away recently.
Oh, the guy who had a heart attack?
Assistant director Summers.
Those guys go through so much stress, and I really think they are the unsung heroes, and they do not get enough credit. Because they literally are the whole reason why a production is able to operate day to day. They are the ones in charge of keeping things running, keeping the director on track, keeping the crew going, and keeping morale up, too.
Trying to find his name real quick. I can't remember. He's an incredible assistant director, but, he's in his 50s. And assistant directors really, like you said, are the glue for the whole production.
Yeah, yep.
Because they're involved in everything.
Everything, yeah.
Logistics, scheduling, set stuff, production stuff.
Yep.
Taking care of the director.
Yep. But also, like, everything falls on them, too. When shit goes wrong, it falls on the first AD, and they're the ones who have to present, like, solutions to problems. They're the ones who have to bring together the big wigs and be like, okay, guys, what are we doing? We're going to have to, like, if I was the first AD and you were the director, I would have to come to you and be like, hey, we have to compromise your vision here. How do we do this?
Yeah.
They're the ones who have to break the bad news. They're the ones who have to deal with all the shit from the crew. Like, if makeup is not, if they don't have enough time, like, the first AD gets all that heat from the makeup artist. The first AD gets all the heat from the lighting guys who they're trying to rush to set up the light for the next shot. Like, they take so much heat, but they are so crucial to the filming process.
ADs, it's all about communication.
Yeah.
And Elsa's a great communicator. She's really emotionally mature and knows how to talk to people. She knows how to give someone bad news without getting them too worried, but knows how to present it in a way where it's like, we can figure this out, but shit's going wrong.
Yeah.
But in a much more positive way. But I think as an AD, you have to be able to communicate with different kinds of people effectively. Not just, like, you have to be able, like, a director is so much different than a sound guy versus PA versus crafty versus whatever. But you have to know how to talk to all kinds of people to really make a connection with them, for them, because you have to trust your AD, undoubtedly.
Yep.
And that's what I love about working with Elsa, is I can trust her to handle anything.
Yeah, for
and your AD has to be sort of just this amazing angel who'll get no credit but does so much of the heavy lifting on a set.
Yeah.
And they're obviously they get top of line credit when the credits roll, but at the end of the day, people don't know AD's names.
Yeah, I don't think people really understand how much goes into being an AD. Yeah.
It's a tough job.
Yep.
I've done it. It's not easy. It's very stressful. Directing's stressful. Producing stressful. It's all stressful. But man, ADing is tough because a lot of people are looking at you.
Yeah, yep.
And you're the first point of entry if you have a problem that you need to bring up to the director.
You're supposed to have all the answers.
And have all the solutions.
Yeah, yep.
We did a bunch of other stunts too. Like, we had our squib hits, but we had some dirt bike stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I think one of my favorite shots we got was Vinny peeling out the rear tire of the dirt bike.
Oh, yeah.
In the dust, because we have a giant dust storm created in the film.
So, since we're talking about stunts, I do have to shout out our stunt coordinator, Greg Poljasic, who is a good buddy of mine. We've been working together in stunts for a long time, but he was very, very helpful with a lot of the stunt stuff. And that shot that you're talking about right there, the bike shot, was probably the thing that I was most worried about, because we weren't really sure if it was gonna work or not. And so we had contingency plans. We're like, this is either gonna work or it's not. So we need to have a contingency plan. But he does a lot of bike riding, and he has a motorcycle and stuff like that, and he was able to set that up for success and make that happen.
Well, I think we set ourselves up to success first. You have great people on set.
Yes.
You hire great people that are good at their jobs.
Yes.
That are great at specific things that you can depend on.
We surrounded ourselves with, this is, I think, so key that so many people don't understand. We surrounded ourselves with people who are so much better than we are.
At everything,
So much better than we are.
But I look at, as a director, you have to know a little bit of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have
Same
but you're
from
not
my
an expert
end.
at stuff. You're great at storytelling. That's the goal of the director, is to creatively get your vision across with the help of so many people. But surrounding yourself with talent is, I think, the only way to succeed with movies, or making a good movie. But we set ourselves up in a good spot because, besides having great people on set, the whole point of the tires spinning out of the rear of the dirt bike was to create a dust cloud in the story.
Yeah.
We have a massive dust cloud that we created practically in person, which was the shot that I didn't think we'd ever get. That was what I was most stressed about, was that shot.
Same.
But in the story, the rear tire spinning creates that dust cloud. Mm-hmm. And when you watch the film, you'll see why and how it makes sense, because it's pretty badass. But we were gonna basically, that's the catalyst for the dust cloud in the film. But we were gonna practically create that dust cloud with other means, with other pieces of equipment,
with
which we did.
Our design that we came up with.
Yeah,
Mostly you.
Yeah.
You did a lot of brainstorming.
A lot of brainstorming,
Yep.
a lot of money spent, a lot of R&D, a lot of the good thing we have a backyard, because
honestly,
I filled the neighborhood with dust a few times.
Yeah.
Figuring out what methods to do. And we had a great kind of liaison with special effects. His name's Thorne. And he has been working on movies for decades. He worked on Alien. He's worked on James Cameron movies, Aliens. He's done so many projects. but he provided us with some equipment that we used to create the dust storms. But our mindset was never to create the cloud with the dirt bike practically, but to
Not by itself,
by
yeah.
itself, but to make that the narrative point to create the dust cloud, then create the dust cloud ourselves.
Yeah.
With different shots, with different pieces of equipment. So while the tire's spinning, we have other pieces of equipment running dust and creating dust. But the shot makes it seem like the rear tire is making this giant cloud of dust.
Right.
Which it could have if it wasn't the desert and windy. But the desert is always windy.
Yeah.
And so the most stressful point of set for me was even day one. I was thinking about this.
Yep, you were.
Our day 3 or day 2, we were going to shoot our dust cloud. We had like an hour to shoot this giant dust cloud. We tested equipment out in the desert here and there, but not to the full extent.
Yeah.
And we tested stuff in the backyard. It worked great in the backyard, and I was very confident we would be able to do it if it wasn't windy.
If it wasn't windy.
And so we were shooting in Palmdale,
Yep.
this great desert location. We were fortunately sort of in this lower plateau area beneath a cliff, so it was a natural protection from the high wind.
Yeah.
However, you don't know what it's going to be like until the morning, until the day of.
I had windscreens on the production truck on standby for this day just in case. Like there was some contingency to it, but yeah, it was
There's
like
only so much windscreens can do.
exactly. There is only so much a windscreen can do. So yeah, it was really just dependent on the weather that day, and
Yeah.
we got so lucky.
For some
We got
reason,
so lucky
the wind stopped
It
right when we were
did.
about to do it.
because it was windy all day, and
Not
we were
crazy windy, but like 6, 7, 8 mile per hour wind, which is enough to fuck up your dust
yeah,
cloud.
like I pulled out the windscreens because I was like, we're probably gonna need to have something if this is gonna work, if at all. But yeah, when we went to go shoot that, as you were climbing up the hill to go watch on monitor, the wind like stopped. And
As I was climbing up that
it
hill, you want to
was-
know what I was doing?
praying.
Praying to God, praying to baby Jesus, God, whoever's up there in the sky. I was
Whoever would
shitting my
listen.
pants, shitting my pants because we had 4 or 5 devices that were creating the dust.
Yeah.
And we found, Danger actually pointed out this kind of specific sort of natural tunnel in the desert, which was actually a good location because the camera was at the top of a hill behind our villain, and we were getting the Timothée Chalamet Dune Part 2 rear shot silhouetted with the explosion, that incredible shot
Yep.
they got,
This-
Greg Fraser.
That was literally your baby
That
of
was
the whole
inspo.
movie.
That's all I wanted was the Dune
Yep,
shot.
that's all he
We
wanted.
call it
If
the Dune
everything
shot.
else went wrong,
This mythical
that's
shot.
all that
It's a
mattered.
great shot in Dune. The nuclear warhead explodes, but the camera's behind Paul Atreides, and it's an amazing shot.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I want to do that with the dust cloud.
yeah. That
so
shot
we
really
ha-
gets you going.
Huh?
So that shot really gets you going.
Yeah, that whole movie gets me going. Don't get me started, Beko. And so we're playing the shot. So we have all of our people who are running the special effects equipment inside that tunnel.
I was down in there for that.
Should we reveal what we were using or no?
No. We put together some. That was kind of clutch how we did that.
There's some BTS stuff you might be able to scope out and find, but we won't just put it out there right now.
It was really clutch how
But
we
we
did
had
that.
several means of creating dust. And so everyone's prepped. They got their dust bags on. They got their ponchos on.
Ponchos.
Masks, goggles.
Respirators.
We put people
Which
through dust hell.
I will say, the dust that we were using was movie dust.
Breathable.
Yeah, breathable, edible.
Demataceous earth.
Dimetaceous earth.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's like it's not just we weren't just using dirt for we weren't throwing the actors into just like regular dirt. Like it was legit,
Safe.
clean, safe dirt.
Yeah, you can breathe in it, no problem.
Yeah.
Still a lot.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not pleasant, but at least we weren't gonna like
Yeah.
cause cancer or something.
And so we have all of our special effects people ready to go. I'm walking up the hill to meet camera and our actor at the top of the cliff, top
he
of the
was
hill.
walking up there by himself.
myself, with
just
a
like
monitor.
I could tell he was going through it in that moment.
I don't think anyone knew at this point. Maybe you did because I
I
kept
kn- well,
voicing
yeah.
it. But this was the most important shot of the movie.
Yep.
If we don't get this dust cloud, the movie doesn't make sense. We have to come back and try to get it some other time. But if we don't get practically a wide shot of a giant dust cloud with perspective of distance and landscape to show how big it actually is, the movie, the climax does not work.
Yeah.
It was essential to
Yep.
get this shot. And it was kind of windy all day, and I was walking up that hill, shitting my pants, praying to God, please make the wind stop. And we get up there, you know, we're on radios, we're on walkies, everyone's ready to go, cameras set up. And then we're like, is the wind stopped? And it stopped right away. And I was like, go, 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 go. We got it in the first fucking take.
Yeah.
The dust cloud I almost fell. I was sitting on an apple box. I almost fell off the apple box because it was actually working. I couldn't believe it was working. I really couldn't. And I was in so much shock that I was frozen in danger. Our DP is like, should we cut? Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, cut. I couldn't believe it happened. I couldn't believe it worked. And so Jesus heard my call as I was walking up the hill.
You cashed in some brownie points with Jesus that day.
I did. Born again.
Nice.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe we nailed it. We tried it a second time. It just wasn't even close to as good. The wind came.
Yeah. Yep.
We tried a second take. The wind was on, and we couldn't shoot. But I was like, we fucking got it.
Yep.
We got it. I have like PTSD to that moment, like of that walk up the hill. No one else knew how important that shot was. I don't think anyone knew.
Yeah.
Everyone knew it was a big shot.
Well, that's one of those things like we were talking about earlier. Like we didn't need to bring that stress onto the rest of the crew.
Exactly.
The rest of the crew did not need to understand how vital that shot was because we needed them in the moment doing their job, making sure that the shot did actually happen. If you stress everybody out over something they don't need to stress about, then yeah, it's a trickle down effect. You're just gonna have that would have been a hectic shot.
Of course, there are moments you do get a little stressed out, and it's tough to hide.
Yeah.
And you know, it gets the better of you. Emotions run high. You're running out of time. The sunlight's dwindling, and you're like, oh shit, we still have to do this. You're thinking too far ahead. But I feel like what I've learned,
which is so much on the AD. That's so much of the stress of an AD.
Is to always try to treat every shot with the same amount of focus and the same amount of control, the same amount of focus. I would say is like treat, you know, a small pickup shot or a short dialogue scene. You treat that as carefully and meticulously as you treat your big spectacle shots.
Yeah.
I think that's important to make it all feel like it's all getting the right amount of your attention and control and all the details that need to get in there, even something simple.
Yeah.
Even an insert shot of a sign. It's like, we got to get this right.
Yep.
We should treat it with as much care as our gunshot, arm shot, you know?
That sign was very nice.
It was a nice sign.
It was a good sign.
It was a good sign.
Yeah, very good.
What's your favorite shot in the movie?
Oh, I mean, it's between either the explosion or the dune shot. I mean,
Dune shot's pretty dope.
just because of how much like planning and stress went into those shots, the payoff was so much more. You know what I mean? Like we have some really good shots in there, especially like our hero's reveal shot. That was a really cool shot too, but the dune shot and the explosion, there's just so much that went into that, you know?
I think one of my favorite shots is the crash zoom.
Really?
There's a crash zoom in the movie,
You know.
and it's something I promised Sarah we'd get in the film. You know,
I really wanted to crash
Sarah's
zoom.
a big Tarantino fan like me and so many other people, and she loves Kill Bill as well, and Tarantino plays so much with crash zooms, and we were trying to get one in at some point, and we had one. I can't remember exactly where we planned to do the crash zoom, but it just didn't end up working.
Another thing we had to pivot.
Do you remember what it was?
Was it the hero shot?
No,
I don't remember that.
because that came later. But there was a crash zoom planned, but it didn't end up working, and we didn't have time to pull it off.
Yeah.
And then we had time on day 3 while we were shooting a climax sequence where we did a close-up of a character's eyes, and I was like, hey, Danger, can we do a crash zoom here? He's like, yeah, sure. And then we did a crash zoom, and it made the cut.
Yeah.
And Beko was like, oh, yeah, thank you for putting the crash zoom in.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite shots because it looks awesome.
Wow.
It's a really cool shot.
Nice.
Crash zooms aren't easy to do, and I only think crash zooms are fun is if it makes sense. You know, would I put a crash zoom in another movie? Probably not. Depends.
It just depends on if it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is, you know, it's kind of it's a short, so you get to have fun experimenting and throw in the kitchen sink whenever you can.
Yeah.
And that's a moment. It's like, why not have a little fun and just crash zoom the shit out of the shot? And it works.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
That was low key. I kind of forgot about that.
It's a beautiful shot. It's
so-
really well
but
lit
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
The focus pull was great.
Yeah.
It took I think like 4 tries and we nailed it.
Yeah. It was good. That was good. Nice. Okay. I have some good ideas every once in a while. I'm not a cinematographer. I'm not a storyteller. That's not what I bring to the table. But you know,
facilitate storytelling.
every once in a while.
Everyone's got their role to play, but
Yep.
Sarah facilitates whatever it is you want to do, as well as checks you when whatever you're going to do is dumb or dangerous.
Yeah.
And then figures out a way to do it safely.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
If she's on set, then you're probably going to be taken care of. And everything's going to be okay. Well, you're
I like
always
to think
adamant about
so.
taking care of the crew anyways.
Yeah,
Cast and crew.
I think coming up as a PA, like that's how I started in my career. I started as a PA, bringing coffee to the actors and all that, which is how I got the connection to the special effects guy. I brought a stunt guy who knows him coffee on Grimm. So starting out as a PA and working my way up through the ranks, like I have a very deep-rooted appreciation for how much work the crew really goes for, and like how much like the crew actually brings to the table. So yeah, I like as a producer, that's always been my like motivation is to, if my crew is happy, I'm happy, and I know that I'm doing a good job. Like that's always been what I care about.
What was the most difficult part of the shoot for you on set throughout the course of the 4 days of One Click?
Making sure everybody was eating and staying hydrated.
Yeah, I think that was really important.
Yeah.
I think probably at the end of the day, hot days, especially out there, was high 90s, mid 90s every single day.
Yeah.
And you did a great job, as well as the rest of the team, well, through leadership of making sure everyone's hydrated, making sure I was hydrated. Because as director, you're often forgetting to do everything that you should be doing to keep your body alive.
Yep.
Versus just like trying to stay hyper focused on the shoots.
Yeah.
I kept forgetting, except for like when I needed caffeine, I'd be like, I need a prime.
Oh,
prime.
Yeah. Our set was pretty much sponsored by Prime at that
Honestly,
point.
They ran out in 2 days. We ran out of primes.
Yeah.
We bought tons. But
Yeah.
no, it's important.
And it wasn't just like, I'm not about bare minimum. I will not do bare minimum. Like when I'm talking about keeping people hydrated and fed, it's not just like make sure you're drinking water and like you're eating a bag of chips every once in a while. Like I wanted people to be like hydrating with electrolytes and water and also keeping up good energy, and then eating like actually good, like nutritious food. So it wasn't like bags of chips. Like we had like peanut butter and veggies and fruit and like meat and like
Crafty was
Crafty's
amazing.
so important.
It's so important. Like
Crafty is so
every
important.
time I see like a Nature Valley bar section and a Crafty, I'm like, oh, that's all we got. Nature Valley, that's like the easy go-to.
I think Crafty is so overlooked in so many indie shoots, and it's super important. If you have good Crafty, you're gonna have a happy crew. That's like that's the starting point for a happy crew. Good Crafty equals happy crew. Like, and so yeah, like going above and beyond the basic like granola bars and chips and like sodas, I think is so important. Like,
yeah, but you have to have a plethora.
yeah,
Some people like candy. You gotta have candy on set.
Yep.
You gotta have gum on set. I think mints
mints are
Mints
important.
are so important for a set because people are talking all day, and sometimes a garlicky meal at lunch, and you gotta
Which is so good.
You gotta stifle that, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I made an effort to reach out to every single crew member, including our PAs, like, hey, what's your favorite snack? And everybody had their own little snack bag on set. So like our sound guy, he really liked bread and peanut butter. That was his go-to snack. So he had his own little bag with little peanut butters and breads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And everybody had their own thing. And it's like, when you get to bigger sets, you can't do that for everybody, but we were a very small crew, so I was able to provide that
Especially,
for them.
everyone has their limit of how far they'll go, I think, on a production. Especially a short production, a new production, you work with new people.
When you're not getting paid that much.
There's a limit, a threshold, but if you treat your crew better, they'll increase that limit.
Yep.
They'll go further for you, they'll work harder for you, they will stand out in the sun for you.
Yep.
They will push themselves if they recognize, of course we see they're pushing themselves, but if you treat them better or you treat them as good as possible, they will absolutely go above and beyond. If you treat them with respect, give them the time of day, and provide them with their favorite snack
Yeah.
on set, they will.
It goes a long way.
They will work a long day for you, no problem, and
Yep.
they will do it with a smile on their face
Yeah.
if they're especially if they're having fun. And we had a lot of fun on set.
We did have a lot of fun, even though we were like in the thick of it and we had a really tight shooting schedule and we were like go 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 go. We still all had so much fun. It's funny, we've been going through all the BTS footage and stuff, and there's so many moments that we didn't get to enjoy or we didn't realize were going on because we were just, you know, so in like logistical mode, and we were like so like in the making of the film, but like the crew was having all these fun little BTS moments, and they were all like making all these little jokes. Everybody became a family by the end of it.
I didn't
like,
realize how much fun people were having on set in like when they had time to,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is great.
Everybody locked in when it
Because
was
I'm
time to
watching the
lock
footage,
in,
I'm like,
but-
this is so sweet. They're like riding in gators, like blasting music.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we're stressed out filming, but like, it's really nice to see how it was a short period of time everyone was together, but everyone was constantly saying, especially after Rap, that is one of the favorite shows they've ever worked on. And this is people who work in the industry every week.
Yeah,
Different jobs and shows all the time.
Biggest compliments that I took home with me was from a stunt guy who came out to help us with camera one day. He's just there for one day, but he told me that the set that I had put together was basically akin to what was the show? It was a crime scene show. Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods, all right.
He's like, he's like, I just got off of Blue Bloods, and feels exactly like I'm on Blue Bloods set right now. And I was like that meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, we built a little city in the desert.
we did. We did.
Every department had their own tent. We had 4 bathrooms, air conditioned,
AC-ed
bathrooms,
Yep.
which were, you'd go to the bathroom, you'd be in there for like a minute extra, just like, this is nice. This is nice.
Yeah.
Where's the director? He's taking his 5th shit. What? Couldn't get him out of that AC. I'm just kidding. I didn't have time to be in the AC.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
But no, everyone had their shit taken care of and provided for, and it was fun and tough at the same time. But it was like a little family, and a lot of movie sets do feel like a family.
Yeah, for sure.
But usually over time, because you're with those people for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But for 4 days, for it to feel like a family and to still have people reminisce about it and still think about it and still be friends with those people, I think that went a long way, and that like
Yeah.
shows how great that set was that you put together. Honestly.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I like you said, we all grew so close during that shoot. I love all those guys, and I would like go to the ends of the earth for those guys because they went to the ends of the earth for us.
Same.
So, yeah, they put their heart and soul into that project.
It was fun, man. I there's so many fun days, and I think we'll do more of these to keep talking about One Click because we're gonna drop it pretty soon, and then once it's
Yeah.
out, we want to keep talking about it and keep getting people getting eyeballs to see it and getting new eyeballs to see it who might find a piece of content and be like, oh, let me go check this movie out. And so I think we'll do more of these little podcasty kind of things.
Yeah, this was
To
fun.
make content.
To end it, should we do some movie trivia?
Oh yeah, hit me with some movie
Okay,
trivia.
so I put together some One Click trivia. So
Ah.
let's see how well you remember.
This is fun.
Yeah,
One
okay.
Click trivia. Let's go.
All right. Let's do this one. Okay, how many dust squibs did we use in total?
Did we shoot?
Yeah, how many did we shoot off?
That's a good question.
Dust squibs.
We did one in the ground with Juliana. We did that once. We did 4 with Vinny and Juliana when they were running. So I'll do 5 right there. 6, 7. I'm gonna go with 9.
9?
Yeah.
What are the other ones? You got the
Are there
7.
more?
What-
Was I right at
well,
7?
no, but what's your 8 and 9?
I don't know. I was just like, maybe it's safer to go up than down.
So it was 8.
8. Okay.
The one that you forgot was the dirt bike tire.
Oh, dirt bike tire.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a script.
It was.
That's because I wasn't there for that.
You weren't there
That
for
was
that.
our pseudo
but
second unit picked
That was
up.
our pseudo second unit. Yeah, we had a second unit. But yeah, that was a dust squib.
All right, so I was one off.
You won off, yeah. Yep.
I would know because I buried every squid myself.
Well, we dug all the holes for them,
Yeah.
and then the PAs helped us
bury
them. Yeah, but we pre-dug all of those holes
A week before.
So that we were like, again, just ready to go, so we could just shoot it out and get out of there quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I was one off.
Okay. Next question. I can't do that because we already talked about that. Oh, this isn't really a trivia question, but I think a good talking point. What inspired the title One Click?
One Click, the title, yeah. I always find it fun whether you see it a lot with song titles, sometimes movie titles where, you take a word and you change it a little bit, like put a K instead of a C for click. I want it to be One Click because I know it's a military term, 1 click, 1 kilometer, as well as what's funny is the fake gun we were using had 5 clicks or something on there.
It did
had
have
click
clicks
written
in
on
it.
it.
Yeah, because of the scope settings.
And so basically the title is, if you understand military terminology, if you've seen it in a movie, that there's going to be violence in this film. There's going to be a sniper in the movie. So that's basically what the title was, is like a little hint of what the movie's going to be about a sniper. And also having fun with changing words up. Because I love song titles that sometimes do that. Like a lot of rap songs do that. A lot of music does that, where it's a phrase or a word but it's changed with one letter.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I think it's cool. I think it keeps it fresh. So it's a mix of all of that. And I think it's a cool title. And it's a franchisable title. If we get to do a feature and then a sequel, then we can go 2 clicks, 3 clicks. He's back again with 4 clicks.
4 clicks. Yeah. Yep.
So it's catchy. I thought it was cool.
Yep. Nice. I'm trying to find... I have a question in my head, but I'm trying to find the answer really quick.
Well, maybe when you ask it, I'll answer it. You don't have to.
Okay. Okay. Do you remember? I think I remember, but I need to double check myself. Do you remember what kind of sniper rifle we used?
Oh, what kind of sniper? It wasn't the American International, was it?
No.
No, it was not the American. We were playing around with the American International. And then we were playing around with that fucking massive sniper rifle that looks badass. I can't remember what it's called.
The 50 cal.
The 50 cal sniper rifle. That thing was a tank.
Yep.
And we realized it was way too big. Our actor, Nathan Kane, who played the sniper, he's 6'1", but even on him, it would be like down to his calves.
It was
enormous. It makes no sense for the desert warfare that we were going with. Even though it's the same sniper rifle from Hurt Locker. That's what it looks so badass.
Yeah.
But for the movie we were making, it wouldn't work with like a most dangerous game scenario. Dragunov.
Yes. Thank you.
It was a Dragunov.
It was a Dragunov
replica, which was made with real metal and wood. It's a non-firing replica. But yeah, we used a Dragunov.
Yeah.
Now we know. Are there any more one-click trivias before we wrap up?
No, that was it.
All right. Well, I don't really know how to end this because I guess this is our one-click podcast, or Rage Productions.
Rage Productions podcast. The movie will be premiering on the 16th. You guys can check it out on the YouTube channel. We'll be posting a lot of BTS and stuff like that leading up to it. So check that
Film,
out.
Instagram, TikTok, all kinds of stuff. We'll have a website up probably by now, oneclickfilm.com.
Yeah.
Stay up to date. We'll have a big
Website.
premiere on November 16th, and we're super excited to share the movie with you all.
Yeah, we have our Rage Productions social media too that we do movie trivia and BTS stuff on as well.
Find us, everybody.
So yeah, we're all over the place.
All right. Stay tuned for One Click. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.